of English literature. And then now we are going to a new topic, Tudor literature, Elizabethan age and Shakespeare era. With me, Maria Zakia Alvisuma. In the last time, we have already learned about Old English literature and Middle English literature. We learned about the historical background and literary development in those era. And then now we are going in this era in Elizabethan literature, the era of the Queen Elizabeth. Well, in this era, there is a prominent works written by Shakespeare. This is a play written by Shakespeare. The name is Romeo and Juliet. Have you already watched the movie or read the play? This is a popular play, and the love stories in this play is considered as a great love story. Besides Romeo and Juliet, there is also another play written by uh, William Shakespeare, for example, like Julius Caesar, Hamlet, Othello, and the others. And then there is also a famous poem written in the era of Shakespeare. This is the sonnet. Yeah? Sonnet is the popular poem in the era of William Shakespeare. Okay, to attract your attentions, to make you enjoy learning this kind of period, I would like to give you summary of Romeo and Juliet first. Okay, look at this one. This picture is the short summary of the play Romeo and Juliet. Let me start by giving you the background or the background family of Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet coming from two different families, and both of the families are in war for several years. Both of the family are feared. Romeo is the son of Montague, and Juliet is the daughter of Capulet. However, once in the party, both of these young men and young women meet each other and they fall in love instantly. Not long after they get in love, they decided to get married. Yes, it's because they are still in a young age and they don't know the result of their action. And after getting married, uh, suddenly Tybalt, here Tybalt is the cousin of Juliet. Tybalt killed one of Romeo's friends, and because of this, Romeo takes revenge of the death of his friend, and he killed Tybalt. Uh, and then Romeo get a punishment. The punishment is that he is banished from the city of Verona. The setting of this drama is in Verona, Italy. Not long after the banishment of Romeo, Juliet is told to marry Paris. Who is Paris? Paris is one of the family of prince in Verona. And then Juliet is so confused with this news. And then she goes to the Friar Lawrence. She would like to have a solutions for this problem. And then Friar Lawrence give a solutions to make Juliet sleep for several times, so that people consider that Juliet is dead. Yeah, it means that Juliet would like to fake her death. Yeah, by how do she would like to do this by drinking such a sleeping potions? Okay. Look at this kind of accident, one of the friends of Romeo giving a news to Romeo. And then Romeo thinks that her, her wife has already passed away. So that Romeo would like also kill himself. The result of this one, Romeo come to Juliet Thomas, and he kills himself in front of Juliet Thomas. And then several times later, after Juliet wakes up from her sleeping, Juliet realized that her love has already died. So she kills herself. Looking at this, looking at this accident, these two families realized that this kind of feud has to be ended, and both of the families uh, end the war and the war of these families. This is the result of the sad ending of the tragedy Romeo and Juliet. Now we are going to look at the historical background of Romeo and Juliet. Okay, look at this one. This is the real happened in the Tudor era, or in the dynasty of Tudor. In this time, in 1455 up to 1485, so for about 30 years, there is a war or civil war between the House of Lancaster in England and House of York. Uh, these two families, they are in war for several years because they would like to take the positions as the King of England. And then this war won by Henry the Seventh, and Henry the Seventh is one of the uh, family member of the Tudor dynasty. It means that Lancaster becoming the winner of the civil war, and Henry the Seventh becoming the king, the king from Tudor dynasty. And then what happened next after this kind of the civil war? The next is that Henry the Seventh married the daughter of Edward the Seventh from York. So Henry from the House of Lancaster, he married with the daughter of Edward the Fourth from the House of York. Because of this marriage, both families is no longer becoming enemies. Yeah. So what do you think about this one? Do you think that maybe the story or the play of Juliet, inspired by the historical background, happened in this era? Okay. This is Henry the Eighth and Elizabeth the York from the House of Lancaster and from the House of Lancaster and House of York. They both getting married, and then they have one of the son is Henry the Eighth. After the death of Henry the Seventh, Henry the Eighth becoming the king. And in the reign of Henry the Seventh, he has married 6 times, or it means that Henry has 6 wives. Uh, he's married with Catherine of Aragon. There is a daughter of Mary the First. So Mary the First is the daughter of Henry the Eighth with the first wife. Elizabeth the First is the daughter of Henry and the second wife, and Edward the Fourth is the son of Henry and the third wife. Henry Henry has married for several times because he would like to get a son for the next successors. Okay, so first time he has to divorce the first wife, the Catherine of Aragon, because Henry doesn't get any son, any surviving son from the first marriage, and then also in the second marriage, and then up to the third marriage, he got the only surviving son, but not more until the childbirth of Edward. Jane Seymour, or the third wife of Henry, passed away, and then so the result, Henry married for the fourth times, marry again. Okay, Henry the Fourth, or Henry the Eighth, or Henry Tudor. In the reign of Henry VIII, there are some of the events or the big events in the England. The first one is the Reformations. Henry asks Pope to grant him a divorce from Catherine. Catherine is the first wife. The Pope argued that the marriage was against God's will. Thus, the divorce led to the Reformations. The Reformations changed England's official religion from Catholicism to the new Protestant faith. Okay, and then Henry, after break away from the Rome, after break away from the Catholic Church, Henry becoming the supreme head of the Church of England. So this is a very big act in the England in the reign of Henry. Okay, after the death of Henry, Edward IV became the king, but not so long period. Edward has already passed away, and then it's replaced by Mary the First. Yeah, Mary the First is the daughter of Henry and the first wife Catherine of Aragon. Mary is considered as the first queen in England. Mary here um, has a plan to change England becoming Catholic once again. Previously, in the era of Henry VIII and also Edward, England is considered as a Protestant kingdom. However, here, Mary would like to make England Catholic. And in the process of uh, changing from Protestant to Catholic, Mary take several acts, and she is called as the Bloody Mary. Why she is called as Bloody Mary? Because uh, she burned alive people in the public because they do not want to convert to Catholic. Yeah. So this kind of accident is called as so make her called as Bloody Mary. 300 Protestants are burned in the public. That's in the era of Mary Tudor, and then now we come to the era of Elizabeth Tudor. Elizabeth Tudor is the daughter of Henry VIII and the second wife, Anne Boleyn. In the reign of Elizabeth Tudor is considered as the peak of English Renaissance or the Golden Age. Why? Because here several success in the Elizabethan era. The first, the Golden Age. England became the dominant power in Europe. She was determined to increase England's power and strongly supported explorers like Drake and Raleigh in their efforts to increase England's wealth. So, in this era, Elizabeth, England becoming one of the richest kingdom in the world. And then social stability. She brought harmony, peace, prosperity, and stability to her kingdom. Act of uniformity. There is a tolerance in carrying out the practice of religious life. Elizabethan time considered as the peace era, as the peace period between the English Reformations and the battle between Protestant and Catholic. Yeah, previously there is a battle between Protestant and Catholic. However, in this era, in the Mary era, the act of uniformity make both of Catholic and Protestant in peace. And then in the art of and culture, in the art of culture, English literary works flourished, especially poetry and drama. Literature has experienced rapid progress and has developed far more than Middle Period. Look at this one. These are the picture of the theater built in the Elizabethan time. the theater called as the globe theater. Yeah? This globe theater is the circular globe with an open roof leads directly to the sky. Here one, the open roof, and the spectators here. It can be 300 spectators in one drama performance. Literature is so famous in the Elizabethan era because the Queen of Elizabeth, she loves art so much. So here, the works of the William Shakespeare's becoming the works that what is it? Placed in this globe theater, including like Macbeth, Othello, King Lear, and Hamlet. They ever performed here in the globe theater. Okay, Renaissance of English. Yeah. In the era of the Elizabethan time is considered as the Renaissance of the English. Yeah, because some of the success which is have had by the Queen Elizabeth, success in the uh, literature, and then success of the explorations and expansions of England until England becoming the wealthiest, one of the wealthiest kingdom in the world. Okay, this is the summary of the literary works produced in the Elizabethan era. The poem and drama. The poem we see here, William Shakespeare writes sonnet, Christopher Marlowe, Benjamin Johnson, Edmund Spenser, The Fairy Queen. This one is considered as the longest epic poem. And then the drama. In the drama, we can see Shakespeare also with some genre of drama like tragedy, Romeo and Juliet, comedy, Midsummer's Night Dream, and then history like Henry VII, and then tragic comedy like The Tempest. Christopher Marlowe, besides write poem, he also write some dramas like the tragical history of Dr. Faustus and so on. Here, Benjamin Johnson. This one is some of the example of the drama written by Benjamin Johnson. Okay, look at the William Shakespeare as the most prominent writers in the Elizabethan era. I'll show you some of the drama written by William Shakespeare. Here, I categorize the drama into several genres. The first, comedy. The second, history. The fourth, tragedy, and tragic comedy. Comedy, why it's called comedy? Because it's the end of the drama, happy ending. And it's also called as the comedy of error. Yeah, the example of the comedy here, like As You Like It, The Merchant of Venice, A Midsummer Night Dream, The Comedy of Error, All's Well That End Well, and 12th Night. And the history, the drama that talks about history, it talks about the history of the King of England. And then tragedy, one of the tragedy that we have discussed previously in the first slide, Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet. This is a great tragedy. And then Julius Caesar, Hamlet, King Lear, Othello, Macbeth, and Antony and Cleopatra. Tragic comedy, the combinations between comedy and tragedy. The Tempest, The Winter's Tale, Cymbeline, and Pericles. Those are the examples of the drama written by Shakespeare. And then, beside the drama, we also come to the Shakespeare sonnet. The characteristic of the Shakespeare sonnet is that the sonnet consists of 14 lines. And then there is a rhyming scheme, yeah, like A, B, A, B in the first stanza. In the first stanza, consisting of 4 lines, so it's called quatrain. And then in the second stanza, C, D, C, D. Third stanza, E, F, E, F. And in the last, in the last stanza, there is one heroic couplet. Yeah, it consists only 2 lines in the end. So the total 14 lines. And then there is also iambic pentameter. Iambic pentameter is that in one line consists of 10 syllables, stressed and unstressed syllables. And then the sonnet rich of metaphor. Now let's try to discuss one of the popular sonnet in the Shakespeare era. This is one. This is the popular sonnet. The title is "Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day?" Okay. Uh, Now we are going to look at the differences between the poem in the Middle Era and now in the Elizabethan era. Look at this one. Uh, the alliteration is no longer used here, but here we can see there is a rhyming scheme in here. A B. Yeah, this one. Yeah, in the first stanza, A B. Yeah, and then in the next stanza, C D, and then C D. This is the second stanza, and then the third stanza, E F, and then E F. Yeah, and then this is the last 2 stanza, G. This one. This is the rhyming schemes that make uh, the poem interesting to read. Besides that, there is also an iambic pentameter. It means that in one lines in one line here consists of 10 syllables, the stressed and unstressed syllables. And then this kind of sonnet rich of metaphor. For example, like this one, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? It means that summer's day here is the metaphor for thee, for the love here. Okay, this is an example of the explanations of the poem in the Elizabethan era and also the works in the Elizabethan era. Okay, in the last, I would like you to leave comments to answer one of these questions. What do you remember most about Tudor literature? Which of Shakespeare's works that you have read and you want to read? What are the characteristics of literary works in Tudor era? Please answer one of these questions in the comment below, or you might answer all of the questions if you will. Okay, that's all for today. Hopefully you can understand more about the Elizabethan era after listening this uh, explanations, and then see you next time with another topic, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.